Morning everybody, happy Easter. Today's going to be a different video today. We're going to be keeping it light and looking into some fun origins of the Easter egg hunt. Before we jump in, wanted to note that Easter, for those that don't know or that need a reminder, Easter is an important holiday to many Christians. It's commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And you might notice some parallels with spring, fertility, resurrection, and we're going to get into that a little bit in this piece. This is not necessarily inclusive of all Easter egg history. I found it a good read, so I wanted to share it with everybody. Why do we hide eggs at Easter? In many pre-Christian societies, eggs held association with spring and new life. Early Christians adapted these beliefs, making an egg a symbol of resurrection and the empty shell a metaphor for Jesus' tomb. In the medieval period, eating eggs was forbidden during Lent. And Lent is the 40-day period before Easter. Many Christians will give something up or stop eating meat on Fridays. A lot of interesting history on the origins of not eating meat on Fridays during Lent. Some potential conflict of interest with the fish market, because you can eat fish according to some takes on it. So anyway, on Easter Sunday, the fast was ended with feasting and merriment, and eggs were considered an important part of the celebrations, especially for poorer members of the community. Eggs were also given to the church as Good Friday offerings, and villagers often gave eggs as gifts to the Lord of the Manor at Easter. Royals also got involved with this tradition, and in 1280, Edward I purchased 450 eggs to be decorated with colors or gold leaf and then distributed throughout his household. The custom of the Easter egg hunt, however, comes from Germany, not England, and some suggest it dates back to late 16th century, when Protestant reformer Martin Luther organized egg hunts for his congregation. The men would hide the eggs and have the women and children find them, which was potentially a kind of a nod to the story of the resurrection of Jesus, and where the empty tomb was discovered by women. So the first reference of the Easter hare or Easter bunny you guys might have heard goes back to 1682 in George von Franknew's essay. I don't even want to say it because I'll butcher it, but translated to about Easter eggs. Hares were associated with fertility, with the Virgin Mary, and sometimes appear in paintings with the Virgin and Christ Jesus, and also illuminated manuscripts. As a child, the future Queen Victoria, a lot of folks have heard of Queen Victoria of England. So essentially, she did Easter egg hunts in Kensington Palace. These were put by her mother, the German-born Duchess of Kent. When Queen Victoria was Princess Victoria, 14 years old, she wrote in her diary, "Mama did some pretty painted and ornament eggs, and we looked for them." Victoria and Albert continued this tradition. They made little moss baskets to conceal the eggs, and that continued on until all the way to Windsor Castle, about 20 years later. The eggs were probably hard-boiled and decorated, as the custom was at the time. The simplest way to color eggs was to boil them, this is really interesting, with onion skins, which gave the shells a rich golden hue. Another technique was to wrap the eggs in gorse flour before boiling, and this produced a delicate yellow and brown pattern. Artificial eggs became a thing in the 1850s, and according to the Illustrated London News, had become popular in 1874. On April 2nd of 1863, Queen Victoria noted in her diary, "Baby Beatrice very happy with a huge Easter egg containing a doll in its toilet, which Affy, her brother, had brought her. Chocolate eggs first appeared in France and Germany in the early 19th century, but here in the UK it was Fry's who produced the first chocolate egg in 1873. Egg rolling was another tradition, actually, and that was in North Britain, and they'd roll the eggs down the hill. And nothing I've ever seen, but interesting to learn that. So important to know that this is mostly English heritage and English roots. Obviously, they get into the true root, or what they understand as the true roots of the Easter egg hunt from Germany. Wanted to share that with everybody. Thought that was somewhat interesting. Most importantly, have an awesome Easter, and value every day. Spend time with your family, and just try to be kind of appreciative of what you got. All right, guys. Thank you. Happy Easter.